many cars for reinforcements, but the crowds were so thick. You can see this gentleman here is antagonizing the police over here, trying to fight with the police. They seem to be pulling out or moving their position to where they are. It's very, very interesting in a scene that we didn't see until we got really within a couple of blocks of the Capitol, which, as you can see, is just covered with people as far as the eye can see right now. I'm not sure exactly what the police's plan is, whether or not this was a sort of law enforcement plan that they were trying to do and that it got out of hand. Excuse me, sir, please, if you don't mind. So as you can see, a little bit of the anti-media folks here as well. But if you go back here towards the Capitol, you can just see the sea of tens of thousands of people. And for now, obviously, you have the police that we saw here getting turned away in these thick crowds. And I'm not sure exactly why. Dana?
Oh, all right, Griff Jenkins, thank you so much. Chris Wallace, as we continue to watch the walk up Constitution Avenue, the protesters on the east side of the Capitol there and on the balconies, and now also inside the Capitol building as the House and the Senate are now on lockdown, as you have protesters inside Statuary Hall.
Well, that shot on the right side of your screen is really the most remarkable one. Let me say the one on the left side is pretty unprecedented, too. Is someone who used to cover anti-war rallies, anti-Vietnam War rallies in the 60s and early 70s in Washington. You'd have 250,000, 500,000 people. Protesters never got anywhere close, anywhere near this close to the to the Capitol. And incidentally, some of those that you can see there on the left side of the screen are on the West Front. That is where in 14 days, 2 weeks from today, Joe Biden is going to be sworn in as president. That's where the inaugural stands are, and that's where the Trump protesters are. But the really extraordinary shot was on the right side of the screen, as Brett pointed out, in Statuary Hall, which is just feet away from the House chamber, and how protesters got inside. You know, Chad was talking a little while ago about the bombing, terrible incident. Look there. That's just right off the floor of the House chamber, and you can see a parade of protesters. Back in the 80s, when they had that bombing, the Capitol was a completely different place in terms of security than it is now. They set up the visitor center. You have to go through a long series of metal detectors and all kinds of things to get into the Capitol. And on a day as fraught with tension as today, the idea that they're just there walking around in Statuary Hall, and frankly, as a result of this, the Constitution, you know, Article 2 of the Constitution talks about the fact that on January 6th, that the Congress shall count the votes of the electors, and at this point, our representatives and our senators are unable to fulfill their constitutional duty because of a security threat and a lockdown on both the House and Senate chambers. So this is pretty extraordinary. I mean, that's just I'd have to say unprecedented, certainly in my